You know, for over 20 years, AutoHotkey has been this kind of secret weapon for automating just about anything on Windows. But recently, wow, it's gone through this massive transformation, evolving from what was a kind of quirky macro tool into a full-fledged, modern programming language. So today, we're going to break down that whole renaissance, and trust me, it is a total game changer.
And you don't have to take my word for it. This quote from a longtime user on Reddit, Groggy Otter, just nails it. The jump from version 1 to version 2 wasn't just a small update, it was a fundamental shift that made the old way of coding feel completely, well, off-putting.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at why the old era really had to end. Then, we're going to dive straight into the V2 revolution. After that, we'll explore the amazing modern tools that have completely changed the developer experience. And to wrap it up, we'll get a little sneak peek at what's coming next in version 2.1.
To really get why version 2 is such a huge deal, we first have to go back in time and look at the world of version 1, a powerful but, let's be honest, often confusing place that after 20 years was more than ready for a total overhaul.
Now, for anyone who might be new to this, AutoHotkey, or AHK as most people call it, is a scripting language for Windows. It lets you create your own keyboard shortcuts, automatically fill out forms, remap your keyboard. I mean, basically, if you do something repetitive on your PC, AHK can probably help you do it way faster.
And it has been around for a long time. It kicked off way back in 2004, but the key moment for our story happened in 2005. That's when expressions were added alongside the original commands. This created a kind of split personality in the language that would stick around for almost 2 decades, right up until March of 2024, when version 1 was officially declared end of life. No more updates. Done.
And that split personality was the real problem. V1 had this super confusing dual syntax. For example, to assign some text to a variable, you might use an equal sign. But if you wanted to assign a number, you had to use a :equal, i.e. this. This inconsistency was a massive headache, especially for newcomers, and it would often just fail silently, leaving you scratching your head, wondering why your script just wasn't working.
So the community knew things had to change, and that brings us to the V2 revolution, a complete redesign that didn't just put a band-aid on the old problems, but actually rebuilt the entire foundation of the language from the ground up.
This comparison table really tells the whole story. Look at assignment in V1. You could do it 2 different ways. In V2, there's just one clear, consistent way to do it. Those old-style commands with commas, gone. They're replaced by standard function calls that everyone recognizes. And instead of checking some vague error-level variable to see if something went wrong, V2 uses modern try and catch blocks to handle errors right when they happen. It's just a huge leap forward.
So, what does all this technical jargon actually mean for you? Well, it means your code is way simpler to write and to understand. The syntax is going to feel really familiar if you've ever touched something like Python or JavaScript. And because hotkeys are now properly self-contained in function blocks, you won't have one hotkey accidentally running the code for another, which was a classic V1 headache that is now thankfully completely gone.
And the community felt this impact right away. As this user points out, building graphical user interfaces or GUIs became massively easier. What used to be a really clunky process in V1 is now so much more streamlined and intuitive, all thanks to a new object-oriented structure.
But the revolution wasn't just about changing the language itself. It was also about building a professional ecosystem around it, transforming how people write, debug, and even share their AutoHotkey code. Because, let's be real, the best language in the world is still frustrating to use if you're stuck writing it in Notepad. The modern AHK experience is now defined by professional-grade tools that were pretty much unimaginable back in the V1 era.
The absolute biggest game changer here is the official extension for VS Code. This brings all the features you'd expect from a major programming language, like auto-completion, real-time error checking that puts a little red squiggle under your mistakes, and instant documentation when you just hover over a function. This isn't just a convenience, it fundamentally speeds up your development and helps you catch bugs before you even run the script.
And beyond the editor, the whole ecosystem is just flourishing. There are these powerful community-built libraries that now let AutoHotkey do really complex things, like deep UI automation, or directly integrating with the Windows.NET framework. This is what elevates AHK from just a personal tool to a viable solution for professional RPA. That's robotic process automation, where businesses can use these scripts to automate really complex workflows.
So version 2 brought AutoHotkey into the modern era. But development definitely hasn't stopped. The V2.1 alpha branch is already out there. giving us a really tantalizing glimpse of where the language is heading next.
If V2 was all about fixing the past, then V2.1 is all about building a scalable future. The features being tested right now are designed to handle large, complex applications and make sharing code safer and way more efficient.
The single biggest feature coming is a native module system. In the past, you used something called #include, which basically just copy-pasted code from one file into another. It was messy, and you'd often have function names from different libraries conflicting with each other. This new import system keeps everything sandboxed and separate, which is absolutely essential for building large, maintainable projects.
And then we get some fantastic new syntax additions, like optional chaining. This little question mark lets you try to access a property on an object that might not even exist. Instead of your script crashing with an error, it just gracefully returns an empty value. It's such a simple change that eliminates a ton of extra checking code.
Similarly, the null coalescing operator lets you provide a default value in a really clean, readable way. If the variable on the left is empty, it just uses the value on the right. Again, this is all about writing less code to get more robust results.
Ultimately, all these upcoming features continue that same V2 philosophy, making the language more robust, more professional, and more efficient. Whether it's better handling for high-resolution monitors or the ability to share complex libraries without fear, every single change is pushing AutoHotkey further into the mainstream.
From its humble beginnings just fixing typos to its future as a modular language with professional-grade tooling, AutoHotkey has completed a truly remarkable journey. It's more powerful and more accessible than it has ever been before. The only question left is, what are you going to build with it?